Test, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alex, you talk and let's see if we can hear you.
Whose laptop is that needs to?
Okay, can you hear me? That's fine.
We're just doing it that way.
We're
Yes.
getting lots of yeps and yeses on the chat.
Okay. So Alex, I'm gonna have you talk again so you can hear me. We have 3 minutes to get this figured out. We have it.
We're gonna get it twice though. Sorry, what do you want me to do?
So you guys are gonna have to stay muted.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but now talk.
Hello, my name is Alex Moore, and I'm sitting next to the Winston the Corgi.
Mike, why don't you go ahead and give us a sound check?
I am Mike Crandall, and I am sitting alone by myself in my office.
All right. So my people that came on early, are you getting sound from all of us? Yes. All right. T-minus 2 minutes until the Disney meeting. All right.
Hey.
We're still live though. We just, because with that, I think we're not, as long as we don't have to.
Okay.
I can't deal with you right now. Okay. Hey. I need you to monitor my phone and watch what I'm All right, we ready?
You want to give it a minute?
Shall we give everybody a minute to get logged in? Welcome to the 2022 Oak Hills High School Disney Trip meeting. My name is Amy Thompson, and I am joined by several wonderful individuals, both through a Zoom meeting, and I have my team of people here that are going to be monitoring questions throughout the meeting. And at the end, we'll have some Q&A. Bit of housekeeping before we get rolling with our slide presentation. If you would somewhere pull up ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org. Should anything go down and we have to stop and restart, that is where we will post a new live stream link. So again, and the website is on our next slide, which I'll actually go ahead and jump to. If anything should happen, go to ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org, and that will give you our website. You can click on the Disney page should anything happen during this meeting and we need to post a new live stream link. That is where it will be. That is also where you will find this slideshow and some other information posted after the meeting. All right, can we get, well, I don't know how to put that back. All right, let's go back and get started. So as you have heard, we are going back to Disney World in December of 2022. And we're taking our band, choir, and orchestra. And Before we go on to our next slide, I'm going to introduce my team. Again, I'm Amy Thompson. I am the choir director and I am in charge of trip planning here at the high school. Let's turn it over to our Zoom meeting for a minute and let our directors who are virtual tonight introduce themselves. Alex, why don't you go first?
Hi, I'm Alex Moore. I'm the orchestra director. This is going to be my second Disney trip with an orchestra. I'm just really excited for it. I think it's a really great trip that teaches the kids a lot of real world skills and they get to perform.
Jim?
Hi, I'm Jim Green. I'm the assistant band director, and I'll be helping out with all the ensembles if possible. And this will be my second trip, and looking forward to it.
We're also taking our color guard director. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Claire Stankin. I'm the color guard director. This will be my first Disney trip with Oak Hills. Super excited for this opportunity for our students.
Next, I'm going to turn it over to our high school band director, Kevin Sweatman.
Hi guys, I'm Kevin Sweatman, Director of Bands here at Oak Hills High School. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're super excited about this trip. This will be my second time going as well. We just want to share some information with you about the first time we went back in 2019. While we're getting this pulled up, also if you go to the Disney page, we just loaded and posted this slideshow to our website. So you can follow along with the slideshow as we're going through it if you would like. But to give you an idea of what happened in 2019, so we took almost 280 people. Of that, broke down with over 220 students. We had 9 directors, 2 administrators went with us along with 2 nurses. We had 3 awesome drivers that carried all of our equipment and luggage down and back for us on multiple trucks. And we had 42 amazing chaperones. The breakdown of ensembles in 2019 was 101 marching band members, which included color guard. We had 94 choir members and 49 orchestra members, and we had a large handful of students that participated in multiple ensembles. And you can see the breakdown of grades there. You can see a picture of the full group. I believe that was in Animal Kingdom, our last day, and it was an absolute blast. So I know if you have been to Disney before, there's going to be something new. So, and this was new for me. I'd never been to Animal Kingdom before, even though I'd been to Orlando. And we had an absolute awesome time. So we're really super excited about round 2 this December.
Tap the screen.
All right, so when are we going? So our current itinerary has us slated to be in Orlando December 1st through December 5th. This year, 2022. The marching band will once again be marching in a parade in Magic Kingdom. Our choir hopes to be performing in the Candlelight Processional in Epcot, but currently that is pending approval. So they're working through that. If that doesn't happen, then the choir will end up performing in Disney Springs for their own separate event. But for those that have experienced the Candlelight Processional, it is amazing. It's multiple choirs combined with a full orchestra. And it was awesome. This is a shot of our marching band marching down Main Street of Magic Kingdom. And then once again, our orchestra will be performing in Disney Springs, as that's a shot of them from 2019. So kind of a similar itinerary as 2 years ago with a few extra special new things in there. Yeah, what we got next?
Tap the screen.
All right. So who gets to go? So this is for students who are enrolled in next school year, 2022-23, in an Oak Hills High School choir or orchestra, as well as members of the 2022-23 competitive or Highlander marching band and color guard and majorettes, including current 7th graders who successfully audition and are selected. So there's more information about this coming out in the next week. We're going to have marching clinics coming up in a few weeks, which our 7th and 8th graders are going to be a part of. And shortly thereafter, we will have assignments for our Highlander marching band and our competitive marching band. So a lot more information about the marching component coming up soon. And obviously behavior will be taken into consideration for all students because they have to be independent in a lot of ways with airports and charter buses and multiple parks and hotels. So that is a major criteria component. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to Amy.
All right, so now we're going to take a closer look at what we will actually be doing while we are down there. We will be visiting all 4 of the major parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom, as well as 1 or 2 stops down at different sides of Disney Springs. So at this point, I would like to turn it over to our amazing tour director. He led us on a fabulous trip in 2019, and he's doing it again. His name is Mike Crandall, and he is about to appear in the top corner of your screen. She says, hopefully.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Mike. You want to say hi to everybody, and then I'll start flipping through the slides.
Hello. Definitely. Hello, my name is Mike Crandall. I am from Bob Rogers Travel. We are a student tour company that is based in Naperville, Illinois. We are focused on taking high school choirs, bands, and orchestras around the country. And we are so excited to be partnering once again with the Oak Hill High School Marching Band, Choir, and Orchestra. We've got a fantastic trip planned for you that I want to walk you through some of the days and what we're going to be doing, just to give you an idea of things. But a bit about our company first. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary, which is super exciting. We were founded by a band director. I myself am a former choir director, taught high school choir for 10 years. And of this slide, I think the biggest thing I would point out here is we have for the last 10 years now it's 11 years, been the top producer of Disney Performing Arts, bringing more groups to Orlando than any other company in the country. So we know Disney well, they know us. We have a lot of great partners in Orlando, and we are ready to bring you an exciting trip. So what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to walk you through here is our itinerary. Know that some things can change. We are waiting on some scheduling details of what day the band, choir, and orchestra will all perform. So know all of that is coming, and we'll get it to you as quickly as we can. But we've mapped out a schedule, and we're feeling pretty good that it's going to stick very close to this. So next screen, we're going to start talking about the trip. So Thursday morning, we are going to fly down to Orlando. So we've got 250 of us that will get onto planes and get us down there. We've already got some flights ready, and we're just kind of making sure we have the best options, and we're waiting for Southwest to come out and all that kind of stuff. When we get to Disney, we'll head right to the hotel, check in. We're staying in a beautiful hotel, which we'll talk about next year. We will spend the night heading over to Disney Springs, giving the kids a little bit of shopping time, a little bit of time to relax and enjoy, and also having dinner at Planet Hollywood, the biggest Planet Hollywood in the world. Of course, focuses on the movies, with all kinds of cool little artifacts and stuff from popular movies that I'm sure you all have seen. We'll then return to the hotel. Next screen. So we'll be staying at the Embassy Suites at Lake Buena Vista. We stayed here the last trip as well. It's a beautiful hotel, a huge hotel. Each room is nice and large, 2 queen beds, pull-out sofa. We'll have 3 sinks in every room, refrigerators for any kind of medication, all that kind of stuff. So it's really a great property. You can see the picture there where all the rooms are based around a big atrium. So it's super easy to see the doors of the rooms, to be watching students. We'll have breakfast right there in the atrium with made-to-order omelets and waffles and breakfast meats and muffins and orange juice and coffee and all that good stuff. There is an indoor-outdoor pool as well. And know that we'll have security guards every night there at the hotel, just making sure that students are safe and that they're reminded also that they are in the room at night when it's time. So next screen. Day 2 will take us, thank you, to the Magic Kingdom. We'll breakfast hotel and then head over to the Magic Kingdom. This is the day that we think that the marching band will perform. Whatever day they perform, it'll be at the Magic Kingdom, because that is where the marching band's performance is. Of course, Magic Kingdom is their premier park. Space Mountain, It's a Small World, Cinderella's Castle, so just so many cool things to see and do here. A great picture moment. I love the picture that they showed at the beginning with the Magic Kingdom and Main Street USA at night. All the people lined up waiting to watch the band march down Main Street USA. So just such an exciting time. Today, after spending all of our day at the Magic Kingdom, we'll head home, back to the hotel, and have a pizza party there at the hotel. Next slide, there we go. This day will be the choir's performance day, and also the day that we spend at Epcot. Epcot, of course, is the park. It's divided into two different areas. There's the area in the front, which actually is just being renamed, used to be called Future World, and then all the area in the back with the countries surrounding the lagoon. Tons of great attractions here as well. This is where the choir is going to perform. We are hoping that they bring back Candlelight Processional, which is a super exciting event for the choir, where they're joined by choirs from around the country, singing about a 45-minute program full of holiday tunes, with the Voices of Liberty, with the Herald Trumpets, with the Disney Orchestra, all back at the American Pavilion. It's a really, really special event. We're hoping to actually do two this time. Last time we did one performance. This time we're going to hopefully do it twice. That's a lot of effort for the kids, and so that way they get a chance to really kind of run through it. And we'll give you, for choir parents, we'll be sure to give you some ideas of ways that you can really enjoy that. Some packages Disney sells that partners guaranteed seating with meals and all kinds of fun stuff. If the choir doesn't perform here, they'll perform alongside the orchestra, not with the orchestra, but at Disney Springs where the orchestra is performing, where they'll bring music from home and perform there. So either way, it's going to be a great opportunity for the ensemble. The night at Epcot ends with their brand new show, debuted in October, called Harmonious, which is there in the middle of the lagoon. So we'll watch that, and then we'll head back to the hotel. On Sunday, we will, this will be the day that the orchestra performs at Disney Springs, and also the day that we spend at Hollywood Studios. Of course, Hollywood Studios, Disney has poured money into all kinds of new attractions. It, of course, centers now around Galaxy's Edge or Star Wars Land. This is where they have some of the greatest rides, Rise of the Resistance, where you're actually on the Millennium Falcon, just some really cool things. Kids can buy and make their own lightsabers. There's also Toy Story Land and a bunch of other kind of really exciting things. One thing I didn't say is that every day we will be getting to make sure the kids have breakfast and dinner included. Most days, they'll be getting a $20 Disney dining card, which is enough for one meal in the park. Know that these dining cards work just like a Chipotle or Starbucks gift card, where they can buy pizza here, pop there, popcorn here. Use it till it's gone. Full disclosure, $20 is really good for one meal in the park. So kids will be responsible for lunch every day. But again, breakfast and dinner is included. If they don't use all the money on the dining card on day one, they can use it on day 2, on day 3, on day 4. It doesn't expire, so that we don't always have food. And of course, a day at Hollywood Studios is not complete with Fantasmic, which is their great show in their amphitheater in the back, which features all of the Disney characters with fire and fireworks and lasers. And it's just really quite the event. And then also, as you're walking out of the park, they have their Galactic Spectacular, which is right there at Mann's Chinese Theater, which features Star Wars and a lot of the other movies that Disney's been a part of. Then we'll head back to the hotel. Our final day, really trying to pack in as much as we can. We'll have breakfast at our hotel, and then we'll head over to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, of course, is a zoo as only Disney can do it. All kinds of really immersive ways to see animals. And also, they've got a bunch of rides there. They've got Expedition Everest, which you see here, and also the World of Pandora and Flight of the Avatar, one of the coolest rides in Disney parks here. We'll have money for lunch, and then late afternoon, we'll all head over to the Orlando airport to fly back to Cincinnati. That is our trip. We try to make sure the kids are busy and have a great time experiencing all kinds of new things.
Awesome. Okay, this is really why you're all here. You want to know how much it costs. Unfortunately, it is not free. It is an expensive trip, and we're going to talk about that right now. So, Mike, do you want to jump back on and kind of talk through this a little bit?
100%. So, student cost for the trip will be $15.99. This includes everything I've been talking about: air, hotel, the meals that are there, all the admission to the parks, busing a while we're in Orlando. All of that is included. When you register, which we'll talk about in a second, you'll also see We've got chaperone double rate of $17.75 online, and also a single room if you want a room all to yourself of $21.19. We have included the triple and quad rate for chaperones and families here, just because I want to make sure you're aware of it. Note that you won't find it online. If you want that package price, you'll register for the double rate and then email us and let us know. We have found it's just a lot easier this way. Oftentimes, single people will register as chaperones for a quad room and not have roommates, and it can be a problem at the end. But you'll see online single, double for chaperones and quad for students, and there are our prices.
All right. So before we talk registration, I want to talk a little bit about chaperoning, and then we'll bring Mike back after our chaperone slides. It's really, really important that we have a lot of help with us. It's also really, really, really a lot of fun. We have our two head chaperones here to say hello tonight. So I'm going to bring them over and talk a little bit. I'll talk with you about what chaperoning is and what it is not. You can take a look at this slide while I bring our two ladies to introduce themselves. This is Dana and Angela. Come on out.
Hi there, I'm Danette Meyer. I have got a current sophomore, but when she went the last time, she was one of the 8th graders, and I was a chaperone the last time as well. So have lived through it, can speak to it.
I'm Angela McKee. My son Noah is a junior, and then my daughter Mia is a freshman. She's in choir, Noah's in band. This is my second Oak Hills trip and my third Disney trip chaperoning. I did another school as well. So that's us.
Thank you, thank you. And if you notice their shirts, those are two of the shirts that we had on the trip last time. We do keep the kids in matching shirts. All right, chaperoning. First, let's say what it is not. It is not a family vacation. It is not walking around the park with your child who is a high school student in the music program. It is not free. I wish we could. I wish we could take everyone for free, but it is not these things. What it is, it's checking in with your group at the park, at the hotel, in the mornings. It is guiding kids through the airport. It is wake-up calls. It is lights out check-ins. And it is fun with some hard work along with it. It is amazing. We had a great time as chaperones last time. We worked hard. We also enjoyed ourselves very much in the park. I can tell you that our chaperone group had as much fun as the kids did in the park. So it is those things. Calling all dads, grandpas, and uncles. We love our moms on the trip, but we need you too. So please consider coming with us and being a chaperone on the trip. You do not have, and to all the kids out there, your parents don't have to follow you around the park. You get to be free and independent, but it is important to have those adults present and there to check in. And sometimes they'll slip you some extra money too. So it's not a bad thing if your parents are on the trip. Okay, so we do need plenty of help. If you saw on that slide that Kevin presented earlier on, I think it's slide 3, we did take more than 50 adults with us on the trip, including chaperones, nurses, administrators, drivers, and directors. So it was really important to have that massive adult presence with our kids. You have to complete a district background check. It's a very simple form that we'll have posted on the website at the end of the meeting. I'm happy to email it out and get it to you however we can. And remember that your room occupancy determines your cost. And like Mike said a minute ago, when you do the online registration, which we're about to talk about, chaperones will need to choose single or double, but you are welcome to change that to a triple or quad. And you do that through a simple email to Mike, and we will have his email. It's actually on the registration slide so that you can, actually it's right here. So if you know that you want a triple or a quad, you still register for a double or a single chaperone, and then you send this email and they'll fix everything on their system from their end. Students will all register as in the quad rate. And then I think that covers everything here. So now, how do you register? How do you register as a student? How do you register as a chaperone? We're going to get to that. So Mike, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Fantastic. We are excited that we are able to take this off the director's plates this year. I was just doing some simple math, and I think the director for the last trip collected over 1,500 individual payments. They're crazy, and we are glad that we can help them out here. So the registration process is very, very easy. We've got two different options here in front of you. The first is this link that you'll be able to find Mrs. Thompson on the website and email out to them.
The slideshow is actually linked on our website. So if you go to ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org, you can actually find this slideshow where you can just click on this button, which will take you directly to the registration link. If you don't have access to that right now, you can always go to this website and use this code. If you type it in, it will take you there.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try to make sure that this link is sent out so everybody's got it. If you have the first link, registration is really easy. All you have to do is click on the link. It'll take you right to the Oak Hills High School Band Choir Orchestra registration portal and start to walk you through the process. If you don't have the link, we think it's a little bit easier to type in this brtpayments.com and then just enter in this trip code, Oak Hills 6822, and that will also take you to the exact same place, to the Oak Hills High School Band Choir Orchestra registration portal. But once you're there, it'll ask you for your email address and a password. You'll set up your account, and they'll start walking you through the process. So doing that, it'll ask you for your address, phone numbers, all of those kinds of things. There's a bunch of optional screens that you can decide to complete if you want. It'll ask you for your medical insurance if you want us to have while your students on tour, up to you. If you have any food allergies, it'll ask you that, so we can help assist with that as we're going through it. And then finally, it'll talk to you a bit about insurance, which I'll come back to in a second. And it'll then ask you for your payment information. When you're registering, you're going to have two different ways that you are able to register. The first is using ACH or electronic check, which is where we connect to your bank account and you make payments to us directly that way. Much like Venmo, Cash App, those kinds of things. If you choose to do it that way, know that there are no additional charges. You'll get charged exactly what each payment is supposed to be. If you would like to instead, we also give the option to pay by credit card. You can put your credit card information in and know that for the credit card payments, there will be a 3% charge for every payment. Know that for each payment, you can go back and forth between the two different kinds or entering in new credit cards if you need to. So, we have a lot of flexibility. We do hope that when you log in and when you register by February 1st, that you will just click enabling autopay. If you click autopay, your payments will come out of your account much like the schedule that you see right in front of you. You're always going to get an email reminder 3 days before each payment. You can also sign up for text alerts, so you can get text alerts as well. We always want to make it so you're not surprised that payment's coming up. If there's ever a time where a payment is coming up and you need to delay making that payment, just log into your account, disable auto pay, and then you can have some greater flexibility with your payment schedule. Know that we do need people to stay on time with their payments, just so that we can make sure that we're fulfilling our parts of the tour as well. But that is the schedule. The schedule you see in front of you is the schedule and the amounts that we'll use to make each payment. Again, we do hope that everyone can get online by February 1st. The next slide is insurance.
And then note that if you want to wait, if you have an 8th grader, a current 7th grader who is considering marching as an 8th grader, you can hold off until after that audition process, and we will have a separate registration deadline just for those people who still have an audition process to go through. And that would be our color guard, our majorettes, and our current 7th graders who are planning to audition for marching band to be 8th graders next year, to march as 8th graders. Otherwise, your registration deadline is February 1st, which coincides pretty closely with course registration, which is really, really nice. So then you can make sure that if you want to go on the trip, that you also are registering for the course you need to be eligible for the trip.
All right, so that, as I said, the next to last screen before you're entering your payment, they're going to ask you about travel insurance. You'll have 3 options. Either you're choosing the standard insurance, the enhanced insurance, or just declining insurance altogether. So not going on too long, but I just want to give you a quick kind of education moment about the different kinds of insurances that we offer so that you can make the most informed decision. So first is the standard insurance. To be 100% frank, I wish we didn't offer this insurance because I think people that purchase it are often disappointed, but I still want to walk through exactly what it does give. So you buy standard insurance, you get 100% of your money back if you cancel for a covered reason that the insurance deems coverable, such as job loss, death in the family, serious illness. So any of those things with documentation, 100% of your money back. If you're ever curious exactly what is covered, let us know. We can get you a flyer of exactly all of the different kind of small type for the standard plan. The enhanced plan offers all of the coverage that the standard plan has, but it also goes one step further and it includes cancel for any reason or CFAR coverage. Cancel for any reason is exactly what it says. You cancel for any reason at any time and it gets 75% of your money back, up to 48 hours before the trip leaves. So to recap here, standard insurance, you get 100% back or zero back. With the enhanced insurance, you get 100% back or at least 75% back. So you see there's a big difference in the amount, in your chances of getting money back with the enhanced plan. No matter what, you're guaranteed 75%. I'd include the costs for the enhanced plan below. Student 113, chaperone double 125, chaperone single 149. If you've never considered buying insurance before, I think now might be a good time to invest in this, to really make sure that you're protecting your investment in a trip. So that's insurance. And again, that'll be the next to last question. When you register, you'll have about 2 weeks from when you register for you to decide whether or not you want the enhanced plan. The standard plan can be purchased anytime before the trip travels. So you have a lot of time on that plan.
All right. Now, to help raise money for the trip, we have kicked off our first fundraiser already, and it has already got some traction, right? So we have already raised $5,000 with this fundraiser, and it just started yesterday. So I am going to bring up our fundraising guru, Brian Templeton, to say hello. And he's also going to do some drawings for some cold, hard cash and tell you how to get started so that you can get some traction as well. All right, Brian, it's yours.
Amy, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good afternoon or good morning, good evening, good evening.
Yes.
Boy, you can't tell what day it
I'll
is.
turn your screens
Oh,
for you.
beautiful. Okay, Brian Templeton with Pledge Drive. This program just started yesterday morning, and it's already up over $5,000. So you've done a fantastic job so far, those of you that participated. We're here to talk about just the online process, the database, how that works, generally how you can become involved, and there's several ways of that. First off, I want to talk about loading. Okay, let's talk about loading. All right, we're going to load this up, but I can tell you the best thing that you can do is set a goal. Set a goal with your families, your parents, your moms, your dads, and try to execute that goal as much as you can through the process of the program. In other words, if you're going to send out 5 or 10 or 20 VIPs, we talked about in the assembly, very important person in your life. We have a contest that we're going to do tonight with the VIPs, but those people are probably the most important people in the process here because they bring in almost 60% of the revenue of the money that is generated. There is 60% profit that you will make on this program as a student. It goes right into your account. This is going to be applied to your trip cost.
Right, I about have
you
it.
might have the wrong one. No,
I got it.
Okay.
I think.
We got Mike Crandall, Jim Green. Oh, okay. But 60% of the revenue that you bring in will go towards that April payment. Okay. Music organization makes 40% of that money that is brought in to do all the other great things that they do, like subsidizing buses and things like that. Their goal is to bring in about $60,000. We like setting a goal high. We have 2 or 3 students already over $500. $500 to $1,000, bringing that in the way we choose to execute this and talk to you about it. Very, very important. If you bring in over that 500, you get a music hoodie to wear on the trip. Actually, before that a little bit, so you can wear it out. And then there's some participation dollars for the top earner. The top person bringing in the donation is $250, $100 second. And then in every grade, there's $100 up for grabs for that. So Disney's great. Probably the best thing about the software, this is the participation instruction sheets that you received. Best thing about the software is that there are many, many ways to pay, probably as many as you can even imagine. We have Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, all the major credit cards, which make a lot of sense because people have these all booked in their phone. It's very, very easy then to make a donation when that happens. You are already registered as a student. You are already registered as a parent or a VIP, which means you can go in and pay and make a contribution already. Once again, we brought in over $5,000 in one day. Pretty remarkable. We want you to scan that QR code. The QR code is in that letter, and that QR code is also on your phone. Once you open up your phone, which I'm going to do, that's the app, or not really, it's really not an app, but it'll tell you the number of dollars that are collected. Whoop, I did that wrong. And you go down to the station here, and I'll cover this a little bit more. You can actually hit the QR code, and it'll have the QR code that you can share with people. You can just say, hey, scan that with your phone, make a donation. Pretty simple. All right. Another way that you can do it. We want to enter your VIPs by tomorrow morning. Very important because we're going to give out some money for that. Donation site always displays the top donors, the top students bringing in the most amount of money, and also teachers. And it's on there 24/7. You can look at it as you go. VIP communication. We think this is one of the most vital, important parts of the whole program. Once again, to add your VIPs, this is kind of flipped around, but make sure you get your VIPs in. This is just a list of people. A VIP is somebody that knows you, loves what you're doing, has a passion about it, just like yourself, is aware that what you're doing. It could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be a band director, it could be a choir director from the past. We know they love you right now, but coworkers, anybody. 50 to 60% of the donations come in off of this group. Ask them to share your page for them. This is when the VIP email will go out, which will be tomorrow. That's why we've given you a little bit of time to do that. 10 to 20 VIPs is a really, really good number to shoot for. You're pretty good at that. All right, share. Who do you share with? This is the official share button, right? This is what the phone will look like at the bottom of your screen. This is actually one of your students, Parker. Parker was one of the first people. One person donated $100 to Parker, and that's his goal. And then what you can do is you hit this share button, and this share button right here, and it brings up that QR code that I just talked about a little bit. But donate and spread the word through all the mediums: email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and text to email, which is also really a great way to do it. So there's a lot of ways to share this. We want you to incorporate and embrace all the mediums. And here's probably one of the least things that people do, but they're starting to catch on. We've partnered with a corporate donor matching organization. It works with nothing but over 20,000 businesses throughout the U.S., internationally actually, that do a corporate donor match. Now, what does that mean? All you have to do to find out if your mom or dad or you as a student work for someone, you can plug in Microsoft, General Electric, whatever. And that will bring up if they do a corporate match. Then it will say, see guidelines. You push to see guidelines. Then it goes into their site. You can fill out the guidelines. Some will match $25, $50, $100, all the way up to $5,000. It depends, but a lot of local businesses, along with international businesses, have pockets of money just sitting there, millions of dollars, that they want to donate and match your effort. So if you say, I'm going to try to raise $500, you fill out the paperwork, they may match up to $500. 60% of those dollars come into you. 40% goes to the music department for all the great things that they do here at the school. Okay?
And that's it.
Thank you very much. Oh, a couple of things.
Oh, yes, we have important
we
things.
have some important stuff here. I
We
hope I didn't
do.
get turned off. But here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow, we're going to pack every 2 emails that you put in as a VIP, you're going to get a candy or a Kind Bar or World's Finest Chocolate or some kind of stuff like that. We know how many you have done. We'll pack these up, have your name on it, get it to the directors. It's coming in on Friday morning. You'll have these on Friday morning.
Amazing.
We had 60 students that have set up 10 of their VIPs. So what we did is we put them all in a drawing. I got a big old fancy drawing thing right here. These are all the students right here. Amy, would you do the honors, please?
I will.
Well,
I
we
will.
got these volunteers because they're going on the trip. Okay.
All right.
So you're going to draw out 4 names,
So,
and we have 4. We were going to do this at the assembly, if you remember. We kind of ran out of time.
yes.
So we were going to do it for $100. We're not doing it for $100. We're going to do it. We're going to break it down, give 4 $25 cash prizes tonight. It's the one that's
The
highlighted.
first one,
Is
9th grade band, Katie Stevens.
Katie Stevens. Your name's on the money. Show me the money. Remember that movie?
All right.
Okay. Next name is Katie Stevens. That's a good idea. Put it right in
Put
there.
it right
All
in there.
All right.
All right. The next one, mix these up real good.
Process it. Are you guys excited over there? Are you feeling it? You feel
There's
feel the love
good
in the room?
energy here.
Okay, here we go.
12th grade choir, Sophia Marsala.
Sophia.
So our seniors matter too, and we talked about
$25. Hey, they're helping out.
about
That's
them
that's awesome. That's
helping
a really
out.
cool way.
And some of these are stuck together, so
There
I'm
we
going to
go.
get them unstuck.
We won't
real
charge
quick. I'm
anymore.
not
We won't
looking.
charge anymore for that. Okay.
All right. We're going to go with,
Okay. Gonna
This
go out that
one
one. Okay.
right
Best one right
here.
there. Best one right there. Here it is.
and this is just
Okay.
one.
Okay.
9th grade choir, Ava Welch.
Ava. All right.
Awesome.
3.
All right.
And we
need
got
to
one
spread
more.
the wealth.
One more.
One
$25.
more. Let's go a different place in there.
Okay.
In there.
Okay,
And
here we
we're
go. Here we
going
go.
11th grade band and choir, Gabrielle Joseph. Have a
Gabrielle.
prize for you.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Okay. You will have your money
So-
tomorrow. You will have your chocolate candy and fun stuff on Friday. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank
Knock
you for
this out of the
being here.
park. Have fun with it.
Yes. So it's worth your time to put those VIP emails in. Once you scan in the QR code, there's a place for students to list those VIP emails. And I encouraged all of our kids with siblings, it's okay if they have the same VIP list. They should definitely do that. All right. If you are ready, feel free to go to ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org and go ahead and get that registration process started. That way, if you have any questions, you can ask them. And also, you probably have generated several questions over the course of the last 30 minutes. So if you have them, if you go to ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org and click on the Disney page, scroll down, there is a form where you can type questions. Or if you're watching on a laptop, you can type your questions into the chat. And I have several slides upcoming that are hopefully going to answer many of those questions. But after that, we will be taking a few minutes to answer the questions that you've posted on both the chat and in that Google form. And then anything that's a personal question, we will just email you back and not necessarily address those at this meeting. Okay? So in the slideshow, the question form is here. Also, you will find the question form embedded on that Disney page, ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org. All right, travel. We will be traveling by bus to the airports, and then we will travel air from here to Orlando. And then when we are in Orlando, we will be traveling by charter bus. Now, how we get to the airports depends on which airport we're going to and what school buses are available. We had a combination of school buses and charter buses. Last time we had flights out of Columbus, they were able to take a charter bus. And then our CVG flights went on school bus since it's much closer and they were able to do that. Our 18-year-olds must have a valid state ID. We'll have all of that information covered in the fall, specifically with our kids who are registered and going on the trip. Luggage and equipment. One of the beautiful things about the way we fly is that we do no checked baggage. So we actually, last time we went, rented 3 26-foot box trucks We had 3 chaperones that were our drivers, and the kids brought their luggage on Monday. We put it on the truck on Tuesday, and our drivers took off with it, and then they met us down there a couple days later. So we will be doing that again. We will send our luggage down on a box truck so we don't have to check snare drums and bass drums and any kind of luggage. We will just be carry-on only at the airport. In terms of rooming, our student rooms are 4 per room. In August, all of our kids will fill out a rooming request. This way, the kids aren't just signing up for a room. We give everyone a say, including our quieter kids who may not feel comfortable speaking up to get roommates. Everybody gets to fill out a form saying who they'd be comfortable with in a room. And then we do our best to make sure that everyone has someone with whom they feel comfortable rooming. We don't do co-ed rooms, and we also don't allow kids to room with anyone who they're in a romantic relationship in those situations. We have matching shirts on our trip for every day. I will tell you, this was amazing in our first trip. You can find people, then you see them around the park, and I can't tell you how many people, random people from all over the world, would come up to us as adults and as chaperones and say how impressed they were with the behavior and the kindness and generosity of our kids that they saw in other places in the park. So this was really, really important, and we'll definitely have a new set of shirts for the kids to wear every day in the park. And we're stepping it up. Our chaperones are going to have a different color so you can actually find them when you're checking in with them. We will have more fundraisers coming, but we really want to see this pledge drive take off and be unbelievably successful. And it already is. So I can't wait to hear the stats from tomorrow and then the next couple days after that first VIP email is sent out. In April, we will be selling the world's finest chocolate bars and the trolley gummies. So that will be coming as well. And we will be reaching out to the middle schools to offer our 8th graders who are planning to go on the trip the opportunity to do those fundraisers as well. And then all fundraisers are optional. The payment plan, if you want to just pay it all off at the beginning, we had definitely had people do that last time, but they are all optional and just a really great way that your kids can work to earn money to pay for their trip. And then a portion goes to the music department because we are still working to function as a music department here too. All of our other things are still happening as we are planning this trip. If you have a fundraising idea or you'd like to spearhead a fundraiser, please email me. My email is right here, thompson_a@ohlsd.org. Put Disney in the subject line. Okay, so what the kids gain. I had no idea how much the kids would really gain until we lived this trip in 2019. They learn money management skills. They learn social skills. They have to learn how to navigate the park with their peers, and they have to learn how to navigate the ups and downs of their emotions that come from being away from home, which are all really, really great skills for them to take into the rest of their lives. They have to learn time management. They're expected to be certain places at certain times. And sometimes that time management comes in managing the bathroom in the hotel in the morning so everybody can get cleaned up and out the door on time. They learn independence. They learn navigational skills. And this is just in addition to the awesome opportunity of performing in a world setting that brings people together from all over the world. So we're really excited to provide this opportunity for our kids again. Things to come later. These are all things that we know that we need to address. Medicine and health forms, collecting medication, administering medication. We will be taking nurses with us. All of that will come in the fall. Know that it is on our brains and it is definitely something we will be taking care of. Dietary restriction form, you'll find that in the registration. If you are someone who has specific dietary needs, please make sure that you take the time as a chaperone or a student to fill out that form. Rooming list, that'll come in August. There'll be a mandatory trip meeting with everything you wanted to know and more before we go on the trip sometime in November. And lots of emails. Please feel free to email me with any questions, no matter how big or small they are. Please send them my way. All right, it's time for our Q&A. So what questions do you have?
Okay.
Can I go?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
sounds like a great
Actually-
time.
before you leave, we've got a couple questions for you.
All right, so we'll do fundraising questions first.
Yeah,
And Mike, if
so-
you're still there, we may have some questions. We'll do your questions
we've
next.
got questions for Mike too.
Yeah, updated. The form's on there now.
Oh,
Refresh it.
okay. I don't know if I can refresh. All right.
If they're on the slideshow.
If you're on the slideshow on the website, the form is actually linked here, but it's also embedded in the website as well. Okay.
Okay, so how do I register for the pledge drive? If you can just quickly remind folks. They've got they received an email and they've got a QR code, correct?
So Brian's going to come back up and answer this. How do you register for the pledge drive if you have an
Long
email
run.
and a QR code?
Okay,
All right.
good deal. Okay, the students received a pledge drive form. On that, they had their own personal QR code, and they can scan that with their phone. It takes them right into this site right here. And if you go down to the site and you can go add emails, hit the add email, and you can add those 10, 12, 20 number of VIP, very important people into those emails. That's what we need everyone to do right now. If you're a student, they want this is coming from you to them. Very important. Parents, you can help out by suggesting, hey, Uncle Wood, Uncle John, Uncle Frank, Uncle Mary, Aunt Mary, Uncle Mary. So get that accomplished in the next few days because we only sent them out 3 emails. Secondly, you can share that QR code with your mom and dad if they did not get the email. Your mom and dad should, or your mom or one of the people on the list should have gotten an email that will open up the same very site that you are looking at here. And the third way is if you are already into the site, if you're into the site right here, there's nothing to register for. There's nothing to create a passcode. I hate passcodes. And you're already pre-registered in this. You're ready to donate or share. And we want you to do both kind of systematically over the next few weeks. And then we only run this a few weeks. I don't know if that answered the question or
I
not.
think it does. I'm going to take the rest of that question. So the papers with the QR codes, these were sent to the middle schools today, probably got there at the end of the day. If not, they'll get there tomorrow. So I'm certain the teachers did not have a chance to pass them out today. So if you at home, 8th graders, generate your list, if you got the email, you can go in and click in through the email and enter your VIPs there, either through the student email or the parent email. If you want to be involved and you are not currently in band, choir, or orchestra, that's an email to me. And 8th graders, then you can pick up your paper from your music teacher tomorrow. If your music teacher is out, find the other music teacher. I know Mrs. Lamping is out this week, so find Mr. Deal. All 3 packets, band, choir, and orchestra, went to the middle schools in one envelope with both music teachers' names on them. So if you go ask them, if they're not sure, say, please check your mailbox. Mrs. Thompson said they were coming. And your teachers do know that they're on their way. So that's in addition there. So if I did not answer your questions, then please feel free to keep entering questions and we'll make sure we get to the bottom of it.
One more
All
thing,
right,
one
one more
more thing I
thing.
want to add is this comes to your parent as something from Oak Hills High School Music. Okay, and we kind of shadow the name Pledge Drive in it, but they'll see that. So if they get a bunch of things from Oak Hills High School or Oak Hills High School Music, they're going to maybe confuse that with a lot of things. They just open it up. It's just simple, and that captures their attention right away. So that's good to know also.
Yes.
We've got a question. I'm not clear. It's from the same person that asked the fundraising. Do you have to pay with credit card or can we pay with check? I think the answer, whether it's registering for the trip or for fundraising, is.
I'll answer that for Pledge Drive. You can write a check if you want to turn it in through the director that your pledge is set up with. That'd be fine. And then there's a way that we can back that back into where it counts for them. Because some people will want to pay by check. We'd like to keep it as seamless as possible. But if somebody is paying you a check, a company, a person, someone that your family knows, fantastic. Turn it into the director that you're under.
And if that applies to registration, what would the answer be?
So electronic check is how they do it through Bob Rogers Travel. And so you just take the information from your check. It's the routing number and you can enter that. And that is the same as if you were to give me a check, if you enter that information online.
And
You
then
can
we've
also give
got
credit
tried
cards,
to
like
share
either
to
whatever way
link.
you're most comfortable with. If you're doing electronic check, there's no fees. If you're doing it with a credit card, there's a 3% fee. So whatever you feel best with, if you're a person that likes credit card points, whatever the story is, you have your option.
Yes. And also I will say Easy Pay is now a 3.99% charge. So I thought this was a bargain compared to the almost 4% of Easy Pay versus the Bob Rogers through the app. It's a 3% credit card. I think you find that everywhere you go these days.
Okay. Then one last question that I think you can speak to. It said, where'd it go? Tried to share to LinkedIn from the email, pulls up LinkedIn, but does not share a page or a link. Any suggestions?
Try it again.
Try it again.
Try it again, and then we'll look into that, and I'll try to send that out in an
Was
email
it
if you get.
scanned? Did they say it was scanned?
Just said tried to share a link and via LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Tried to share to LinkedIn via email, pulls up LinkedIn, but does not share a page or a link. Any suggestions?
Okay. I'll look into that tonight.
We'll look into that, and then we will make sure we reach out to everyone with that, and I'll find your question on there and try to email you directly with that answer about LinkedIn, sharing to LinkedIn.
And
Excellent.
then still kind of on the fundraising topic, I think, Mrs. Thompson, you can answer this. How many fundraisers will there be?
So how many will there be depends on how many people step up. I know we have 2 planned, and then we can probably repeat one or both of them again in the fall. This one right now runs through February 3rd. And then in April, we'll do the world's finest chocolate sale in addition to the trolley gummies. Last year, we were also able to work the Flying Pig Marathon and take some workers down, and they made some proceeds through that. We had a parent who stepped up and volunteered to run that. And we ran a couple of online fundraisers. I'm trying to think of what we did. We did a Terry Lynn nuts and candy sale, which our Coral Boosters has done recently, but we could certainly open that back up again. So if you are someone who wouldn't mind taking the lead on some of that, it would be amazing. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is Thompson, THOMPSON_A@OHLSD.org.
Do I have to be vaccinated to go on the trip? Does Disney require it and or the airlines?
So I'm going to turn this one over to Mike if you have to be
Great
vaccinated,
question.
because I think you're doing that now.
Yeah. Obviously, a great question. None of us can predict the future. All I can tell you is what is happening now, which would be no, you don't need to be vaccinated for Orlando, for the parks, to fly on an airplane. None of that is required. There are masks required kind of throughout, depending on what you're doing, and those have changed from time to time, the requirements for masks, but there has not been any requirements for anything we're doing on this trip that would require a vaccine or any kind of negative test either.
Excellent.
Can you please reiterate who is eligible for this? My son is in chorus in 3rd grade.
Okay, so the people who are eligible are, if you are in choir, if you are currently in 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, and you plan to participate in choir as a 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grader next year, you are eligible. The same holds true for orchestra. So our choir and orchestra members must be in high school choir or orchestra, grades 9, 10, 11, 12. Marching band, 9th through 12th grade as well. But marching band also has some 8th graders who march during their 8th grade year. That happens through an audition process. And so those 8th graders, we took 5 8th graders with us last time, and they were all in the marching band. 1 marched clarinet and 4 were in the color guard as 8th graders. But everyone else must be 9th through 12th grade in choir orchestra, or marching band. And that includes both the Highlander Marching Band and the competitive marching band.
All right. What happens to our money if the trip is canceled due to COVID or canceled for any other reason?
Mike.
Yeah, that's a great question. First off, we always recommend you buy trip insurance. That is the way that you will get as much of your money back as possible. We have not had a trip cancel since about June of 2020 through a school district. There's been rescheduling and that kind of thing. It doesn't seem as if our society is ready to shut down again and start canceling things. We've got a very, very full slate of trips that they're traveling everywhere from last week to throughout the course of the year. But we do have a couple things in place in case that would happen. First off, again, buying trip insurance is the best way to protect your investment. If there were non-refundable fees that came in, the only way you'd be able to get your money back for that portion would be to buy trip insurance. Again, I recommend buying the enhanced plan for trip insurance. We do have a trip insurance program that the entire trip will be covered under. This will be if the entire trip would cancel 9 days out or more, 100% of your money back, minus any non-refundable fees such as airline deposits and that kind of thing. Then within 90 days, there'd be a 15% BRT fee for the work that we've done on the trip. And then would just depend on how close we were in as far as the trip travel date and what deposits and things vendors were keeping and that kind of thing. Such as right now, just to kind of reinforce travel insurance, right now, if a trip would cancel, say next month for Omicron or whatever else, Disney will not refund us the Disney tickets. So again, it's really important that you consider buying trip insurance so that you don't lose any kind of money as far as your trip and the funds you put in.
All right. Will you allow for students to travel down and back with family to save on?
No.
Save.
So the question is, will we allow students to travel down and back with family? If you want to go on a Disney trip with your family, that is fine, but we will not allow you to participate in any of the things that we are doing in terms of the performances and anything on the itinerary. So if you are planning to go on the trip, you are with us from the time we leave here until the time we return here. And that's just a safety measure for everyone involved.
I think she's asking if like their child that's in the group can travel with them instead of coming on the plane.
And back, so will you allow for students to travel down and back with family to save a bit of money on airfare?
So whoever's participating like in band,
Yes.
that person would travel with their family.
Okay, yeah. So if a student is going to participate in band, choir, or orchestra, they have to travel with us as part of the group. So we don't allow students to travel separately from the group. However, families can travel with the group as part of the trip, as chaperones as part of the trip. But we don't allow students to find their own way down or go down separately from a part of the trip. So we do ask that the students are with us the whole time.
Are shirt fees part of the total cost?
Yes, the shirts are included in the total cost. Great question.
Not the hood. Can choir and orchestra members room together, or is it organized by ensemble?
One of the best things about this trip is it brings together our band, choir, and orchestra. The question was, can they room with kids in different ensembles? And the answer is absolutely yes, we encourage it. They can room with kids in different ensembles. They can room with kids in different grade levels. And that's what we love to see, is that our orchestra and choir and band kids are all working together and meeting each other and making friends outside of just their ensemble that they're with every day. So that's an amazing thing.
Do fundraising dollars change the amount due at the various time frames? And along with that,
so Mike, I'll come to you too, because I have had this question. So the question is, do fundraising dollars earn? So let's say this pledge drive, you or your child raises $500. So then 60% of that goes toward the trip. So Mike, does that change a particular payment, or does that just come off at the end? So we'll be.
No, that's a great question. First off, we will take fundraising funds as often as the school sends it to us. And when we receive fundraising funds, that'll come right off your next payment. So if your payment's $200 and you send us $300, that'll be your next payment's gone. And then we'll take the rest off the next payment. So we encourage funding to come in frequently and come in early. It is important to note that we can't refund money. So make sure that we're getting it early so that you're not overpaying. And that's another thing. If you are a person who foresees yourself fundraising a lot of money, don't pay ahead. Just follow the payment schedule. And that way we'll always have room on your account to take whatever fundraising funds are coming in from the school.
And so with that, I will say that this pledge drive that we are doing will be applied to the April payment. We will have the money come in after, it'll come in after you've made your trip deposit. So we need you all to do the trip deposit. Everything after that can come out of fundraising money. So the pledge drive will be coming off the April payment, and it could be coming off your April and your June payment if you raise enough money. And I think some of you are going to do that. If you raise enough for your full trip and you know that ahead of time, then we can talk about your deposit and make that happen. If you know you're going to raise the full amount on the pledge because you've already got that much, you don't have to make the full deposit. It'll come off of that too. But initially, we want you to make that first deposit, and then fundraising goes in.
In line with that, if they sign up for auto pay, how does the fundraising money get applied to the remaining payments adjusted?
So I think, Mike, you just kind of talked about that. If they're signed up for auto pay, it'll just will it automatically adjust their total due?
Exactly. When it comes up, we will have already credited their money to their account. It'll show that they're already ahead of their payments or have already made most of that next payment. And all it will do is just charge the remaining balance, whatever you might owe for your next payment. If the fundraising monies come in so heavily that you're knocking out the next 2 or 3 payments, then it simply won't charge your card until we get to a spot where you are in need of making a payment and there are not enough fundraising fees on your account to cover that payment.
Excellent. Excellent.
Do you have to buy the tickets to Disney through Oak Hills, or can we buy it on our own? I'm thinking this might be for families.
So we can talk. Go ahead.
If you're going as a chaperone or as a student, we'll purchase all your tickets. We get a great rate through Disney for your tickets, so I would definitely not worry about that part. If you're going as your own person and planning your own vacation, then 100%. You can purchase your own tickets. We will offer at some point further down the line discounted tickets if people would like to buy them through us. But yes, there's no requirement if you are not a chaperone or not a student that you buy your tickets through us.
Okay. Can we room with our parent if they are a chaperone?
The question is, can we room with our parent if they are a chaperone? The basic answer there is no. The exception would be medical needs or medical conditions. And that would be a conversation between you and your director. But essentially, all of our students are expected to room with other students, and then parents and chaperones. And if you have extra family members coming with you, say mom, dad, and sibling are going to be a chaperone group, they can room together, but your performer will room with other performers on the trip.
Can boys and girls be in the same room, and you may want to adjust the relationship part too?
So we do not have co-ed rooms on the trip outside of chaperones. That is at your discretion, but our student trips, our student rooms are not co-ed. And then we do have some same-sex relationships, and we just ask that you don't room with someone that you're in a romantic relationship with. And we get to all of those finer points when we get to the trip roommate request in August. We'll talk to all of the kids. We'll have them all together and have the roommate meeting.
Can you remind them when the check payment for the trip is due? So maybe first deposit.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the payment slide if I can. I don't know if I can, so that you can see that. Let's see if I stop sharing, if I can get back to it. Maybe, maybe not.
One important thing I would throw out here, just while you're finding that, Mrs. Thompson,
Go
is
for it.
that we don't accept checks. So that question was about refer the checks. Do you know you would have to register online and you will need to pay electronically, whether that's ACH or credit card. And we would like to have that all done by February 1st. So you're registered and online by February 1st, especially the airline component of this trip. It's super important that we know exactly how many people are going to be going. So we have enough air seats reserved, and we're not reserving too many, which can drive the cost up a little bit. So if you could really make sure that you make some decisions and get on by February 1st, that would be fantastic.
I can't seem to go backwards when I get into that screen, and I picked the wrong one. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question of
Hey, Amy.
registering. Yes.
We've got another fundraising question. He can jump in
Okay.
and answer while you're trying to do that. The question is adding the VIPs on the personal website the same as using the QR codes?
Functionally, yes, going into the same system for a donation. But technically, those are two different categories. The VIP list gets 3 emails sent to them, 3 reminders. The other people that are scan coded is 4 or 5, depending on when they actually get the scan code sent to them and things like that. But the VIP is only 3. Figure that. But the most important part of this is what we send them is totally different. So to answer the question in general, because I'm rambling because you need time.
You're
right?
good. You're good.
You need to really concentrate on these VIP individuals that mean something to you. They mean something. You mean something to them. They mean something to you. But most importantly, when you add a VIP contact on your list, that is only for that purpose. Everything else could be scanned on, and it just they get a special introductory and things like that. There is a totally different thing. Okay, your parents can be a VIP also. Okay.
Okay.
I have to answer the first payment due.
The first payment due. So you'll register online by February 1st, and whether you pay by electronic check or credit card, that payment will not come out until February 8th. But you need to be registered with all of your information inputted into the system by February 1st.
All right. So we already answered the short question. How often does the Disney trip happen? Deciding if I should send a freshman or wait until older, more mature.
So great question. This is our second time doing the Disney trip. I will tell you, we don't have a set schedule. One of the reasons we chose to go 3 years later was because we would be taking some experience. We have chaperones who have kids on the trip again. We have a lot of kids we have 5 juniors, 5 kids who are sophomores now who went on the trip, and a bunch of juniors who will be going again as seniors. And they do have the opportunity to go twice. And we had about 50% of our freshmen go that first year that we went, and they're the ones that will be seniors. So we wanted to make sure that we gave the other 50% of those freshmen who didn't go on the trip the opportunity to go. And we wanted to take some experience. That being said, I don't know when our next trip will be. If this is successful, we may go again in 3 years. We will not go prior to 3 years from now. I can't see it as an every other year trip, but it could be 4 years later. So you're going to have to make a judgment call on that. We don't have a set schedule, and I can't tell you, yes, we're going again in 3 years, or no, we're not going again for 4 or 5 years, or never. It's really not defined as of yet. So I'm sorry that that's not really an answer, but that's what I have right now.
Will this presentation and slides be available to view again?
This presentation, the slides are already available for you to view online. Go to ohhsmusic.ohlsd.org. Click on the Disney page. It's already there. The links are live, so you can just click that link to register, or you can scroll back through the information. And then once we end the live stream, I think there's a little bit of processing time, but through the very same link that you found us tonight, you will be able to go back and reference the video. It will be available on YouTube after tonight.
Do jazz ensembles or other smaller ensembles play, or is it whole groups?
I answered that in the text.
Okay. So our jazz bands, really our band that performs is our marching band. So you need to be eligible for the trip. You need to be in marching band, either Highlander or competitive. In terms of if you're a band member, it is our marching band. So color guard, majorettes, the drum line of the marching band, all of our wind instruments in the marching band. But anyone who is not a member of Highlander or competitive marching band is not eligible for this trip. All of our choir members that are in treble choir, men's ensemble, bella voce, and varsity singers, they are all eligible. And then all of our members of our 2 orchestras, concert orchestra and symphony orchestra, including symphony, winds, and percussion, will also be eligible. So it's current 8th through 11th graders plus a few who will be marching as 8th graders next year.
When they need to turn in t-shirt sizes, are they youth or adult sizes?
Last time we did adult sizes. It depends on the shirt that we pick. But if we can have youth sizes available, we will. If not, we do smalls. And for our teenies, we just tie them with hair ties.
All right.
Question about
Yeah, we had another fundraising.
Okay, another fundraising question. We've got you.
Here we go. Corporate donating, corporations. At the end of the process of you donating the amount of money, or your patron donating the amount of money, it'll ask you right there. It'll pop up as it looks like a little phone, and it'll ask you, could you be a match for a corporate donation, a matching grant, or a matching amount of money? And it has a little slide there. All you have to do is plug in right there the name of the company that you're working for, or maybe your son or daughter is working for them, and they can match also. So you plug that in, it'll tell you if they have been okayed to make a matching opportunity or a matching grant, and it's up to the amount that you are raising. So if you say that I'm going to raise $500, and they do grants for $25 to $500, they could pay you literally $500, which you make 60% of that money also, which is another reason to fill it out. Okay, so mom and dad have different jobs. You have a job also as a 12th grader. You can all look that up as you catch out.
Awesome.
Yep.
Will purchases at Disney be with cash or digital money? I think I'm
Okay.
guessing they're
I would
spending
say
money.
you can do both. Disney is definitely encouraging more purchases via their mobile app and mobile ordering and buying via credit card. But Disney is still accepting cash. For a while during COVID, they had closed down their counter service. That's all reopening again, and you'll be able to use cash if that's what you like to do. But they do recommend, and you get better service if you're ordering off of the mobile app.
And we'll give all those options to kids and parents once we get into the fall.
Do you have a limit on chaperones? Could me and my sister be chaperones?
We really don't have a limit on chaperones. The more the merrier. And yes, you and your sister can be chaperones. 3 years ago when we went, we had one of our choir moms bring her best friend, and the 2 of them teamed up and were a chaperone team together. Had a great time chaperoning kids and running around the park together.
What about color guard? Can the email pledge form be sent out to those members?
We addressed that one already. I emailed those to you.
Yes, we are working on getting our color guard members that are new on board with the pledge drive, and anyone else who's not currently in band, choir, or orchestra. As long as I know you want in, we will get you registered for the pledge drive tomorrow. We're going to make that happen tomorrow.
Are donations through the pledge drive actually to a nonprofit and therefore tax deductible, or is that a payment to this third party?
They are tax deductible,
The donations with donor match are tax deductible.
and they have a form online.
And there's a form online. Great question. Yeah,
Alright.
great questions, y'all.
If I go on my own time, will I be able to purchase a ticket to where my daughter is singing and see the performance?
If you go on your own time and you're not coming with us as a chaperone, can you go see your
Yes.
daughter or son perform? And yes, absolutely.
100%. Everybody's performing in the parks. So the band just marches through Magic Kingdom. So you have to buy a ticket to the park. But if you're inside the park, you can certainly see them. If the orchestra and choir are at Disney Springs, which you know the orchestra will be, you don't even need a ticket for the park. Disney Springs is free, and you can see your kid for free. And if the choir is singing Candlelight Processional, it is free. And we'll talk about this a lot more once it gets closer.
Free with park admission to
I'm sorry?
Epcot. Free with park admission to Epcot.
Right, yeah, be in Epcot. But once in Epcot, it is free to see it. Do know there's limited seating. Do know that they do charge for premium seating in the space if you want that. But you can watch it for free, especially if you line up early. So we will have special kind of information about Candlelight Processional and different seating options and different ways to make sure you get to see your student in candlelight.
Yes.
If that is something that we're able to do. But the easy answer is yes.
Yes.
But there could be some additional things you can take advantage of to get better viewing and stuff of candlelight if we do that.
And we had lots of families do that in addition to the 279 people we took as part of our trip. We had lots of families that were down there watching their kids perform.
Can you just remind those that have kiddos that may need to try out for an event when and how that registration will take place for them? I've got a question
Yes.
here. If you're in guard, do you have to register by February 1st, or do you have to wait until you make the team to register? So if you can.
So the special circumstance for those people that have to audition and be accepted before they register is you do not need to register unless if you're already in orchestra or choir or band and you're auditioning for color guard, you would register anyway. But if color guard is your only thing, or majorettes is your only thing, or becoming an 8th grade marcher is your only thing, you should go through that audition process and make sure that it's something that you're actually accepted into and going to commit to. And I will be sending directly to those directors, directly to Claire, directly to Mrs. Ryland, and directly through Mr. Sweatman, those specific dates for those kids that are affected. And once the auditions results have been posted, we will be also reaching out directly to those students because we'll know who you are to see if you want to register for the trip, and we'll have a separate set of deadlines and we can adjust payments as needed for that specific group of people who have to go through the audition process. In terms of choir or orchestra or 9th through 12th marching band as an instrumentalist, you have a place. You have a place in one of the choirs, in one of the orchestras, and in one of the 2 marching bands.
That's it.
That's it. I'm sure that you will have more questions, so please feel free to continue to enter them into that form. You can always email me, and we will eventually be posting an FAQ sheet on the website as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out because I'm sure you're going to think of 500 questions as soon as we hit stop. So go ahead and put them in. We'll still be monitoring the document and answering the questions. Thank you all for your time tonight. And we're really, really excited about doing this again and providing this opportunity for your kids. So I hope that you can make it happen for them. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.
Great job. In that hour, you're almost another